No good deed goes unpunished. You guys are familiar with that expression. I have never in my time on this earth seen that applied more than it gets applied to Dana White. I have never seen anybody more guilty of the adage, no good deed goes unpunished. So here's the latest narrative, okay? UFC is cutting guys. Same as Bellator did a month ago. Bellator did 30, UFC is going to have to do 60. Okay. Those are tough. You're talking about personnel decisions. These are very tough. So somebody along the way comes out with, Dana is cutting the expensive guys to keep the cheaper guys. Now, first off, that would make sense. There would be no apology or explanation needed. That would actually make good logical sense. I understand that we're not dealing with mathematicians or even very intelligent people here in MMA, so somehow this looks as something nefarious. Dana comes back and says, that's actually not what we're doing. Let me explain this to you guys. What's happening here is guys who have been given opportunities are the ones that are being cut in exchange for those who are not yet had their opportunity. Now, where does that tie in? Sure, there's a finance, but that makes sense financially. The guy who's been given an opportunity and who is out there and who has done it more times makes more money. That's just the way the scale MMA works. The more times you walk out there, the more money you continue to make and the more worth that you have. The problem you have if you're Dana isn't sitting down and trying to crunch numbers and be a Grinch somewhere. It's looking at it for who's already had an opportunity, who's already main evented, co-mained, had opportunity spots, been put in title elimination fights, had title fights, who's already been pushed into the spotlight, done the media, and didn't quite get over or did get over, and light is starting to dim. In exchange for who is new, up and coming, hasn't done any of those things yet, hasn't proved, but hasn't unproven themselves. Sure, there's a direct correlation. The guy who's already had opportunities, who you've exhausted a couple of options with and gave opportunity, yes, he's going to make more, but that's the one and only tie-in. I only bring that to you because I just think it's so bizarre that anybody would say that to Dana. The most generous man, possibly in America, would even be questioned about attempting to save money. Oh, and by the way, he has shareholders and is running a business and would have every right to do just that. It's just not what happened. Okay, save that thought, because at the same time, Dana weighs in on 155 pounds. He says there will be no interim championship at 155. Great. Why that does not look like clarity to any of you? That is the most clarity we have been given in that weight class in 7 weeks. That weight class is a hot potato. That is a mess to the highest degree. You have Khabib, who has said, "C'est la vie." Dana thought, well, you know what? He was caught up in the moment. It was his moment. I'm going to give him that moment, but I'm not going to actually take the title. I'm going to let him think about this decision. Great, cool move. But you have Conor and Poirier lined up, which many have predicted, myself included, early on, that would be for an interim championship, if not the undisputed championship. You then also have what appears to be a bracket, because Chandler appears, I'm guessing this based on the pieces left on the board. Gaethje and Chandler have something really cool with each other that's going to be a lot of fun for everybody coming up. I'm guessing. You then have Oliveira, who has kinked the hose more than anybody else. I mean, Oliveira has really thrown a wrench into things of what are we going to do with him? What is next for him? And Oliveira, while his skills and his performance were grand slams, his manipulation of the business leaves a little bit to be desired. By example, and many people won't ever understand this, the cycle of a fight is the day you sign. The day you sign and go to your social media, to the day the media will pick up on it and decide what fight they think is interesting and invite you onto their shows, okay? Until you walk out, when you're done, after the match, you will have 2 days. You have exactly 48 hours. You will have Sunday, you will have Monday. Come Tuesday morning, the news cycle changes. And that is largely due to Ariel Helwani and Luke Thomas, who hold Monday shows. They are the first MMA show to come to the table, and they do not do it until Monday. Sunday gets to be a recoup and a travel day. I bring that to you because of those two guys, Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani. That is why Monday is signified as the day, because come Tuesday, it never happened. And you're only looking to what is this Saturday. What's Bellator got going, what's the UFC got going, and what is next. Sports just don't go in reverse. Oliveira did a very good job from the day he signed the contract. He did an excellent job in the competition. He missed the 2 days. And I see athletes do this all the time, not understanding. Well, I'm tired right now. I'll come back to it in a week. Nobody cares in a week. It doesn't work. Do not throw those 2 days away. Do not throw that 48-hour news cycle away, because you will not have an opportunity come 72 hours. It is done, and we're moving in one direction, which is forward, not back, and it was a miss. I'm being very nitpicky here on Oliveira, but don't forget, Oliveira is in a very, very nitpicky conversation right now. The competition that he is in is head-to-head with Conor McGregor. It is head-to-head with Dustin Poirier. It is head-to-head with Michael Chandler. It is head-to-head with Justin Gaethje, and it's going to be resolved one way: in the media. He may get locked in there with one of those guys. There is no scenario where he's locked in there with all four of those guys. Do you see the problem? Who is going to emerge is going to be dependent fully on what the fan and viewer and pundits see and go out and report. Perception will be reality. The best guy will be determined by your eyes and your mouth, which means he needs to use his eyes and mouth to beat these guys. It's the only way he can do it. That's just the competition he's in right now. I'm being nitpicky. I'm being hard on Charles. I don't mean to be. I just want to use him as an example because Dana has finally offered one piece of clarity, which is that we're not going to do the interim title. Next belt that goes up at 55 is the real deal. Who is it going to be between? And by the way, if Khabib does not come back, you've just doubled your opportunity. It is so hard to get a world title fight. It is so hard. You just doubled the chances that you could get one. Oh, and by the way, we're down to the final 5 guys. 2 of them are going to get the opportunity, not one. If Khabib doesn't come back, 2 of them. It is so important to play this game. It is so important to understand from the day you sign the contract to you have the competition plus 48 hours. Nobody wants to work after the match. They're tired. They want to return to their family. The last thing they want to do is talk MMA. And some of them give themselves as short as 1 week off. Some of them give 2, and some of them take a full month. But the bottom line is you can't do it. The time you walk out of that cage, you have 48 hours and the clock is ticking. You've got to maximize that. You have to get your message and align your troops. Tony Ferguson got more media since that fight than Charles did. That's a knock on Charles. I don't know that Oliveira knows he is in a fight right now. And he doesn't need to, and he doesn't get to use these. He's got to use this. He missed that 48-hour opportunity. Charles Oliveira just might be the best one of them. I'm not sure you could take any of the other guys we're talking about and just use Tony as an example, and that any one of those guys could win every minute of a fight with Tony Ferguson, let alone every round. Charles Oliveira might be the best one, but that's not what it's about. It's going to be about perception. Charles has a big knock against him, which is he went first. Guys, think of a court of law. Just think of a court of law. Whoever has the last word has the greatest opportunity. There's something with the last word, which is why the judicial system gives that to the defense. The defense gets to go last to give this person every opportunity to convince 12 of his peers that weren't smart enough to get out of jury duty that he didn't do it. Whoever goes last has the greatest chance. Charles went first. So Conor and Poirier instantly, just by logistics, are in a better spot. Not to mention their main event. Gaethje and Chandler are in a very unique spot, and I would argue more over Chandler because he's new. The guy from out of town wearing the white shirt always knows the most. I've seen this a million times just in my sports career. I'll be working with coaches, the greatest coaches in the world. I see them every day, and you lose appreciation. We have some guy come in from out of town and do a seminar. And we're all on bended knee waiting to hear everything he said. The guy from out of town with the white shirt knows the most. It's one of these things. Chandler's in a very sweet spot right now. But make no mistake, there's a fight going on. Chandler is fighting Oliveira. Chandler is fighting Poirier. He's fighting the power of Conor Mania right now. And so are all those other guys. And the first thing they need to understand is the recipe and the blueprint. The day you sign the contract, then you have your performance plus 48 hours. If you miss those 48 hours, it's no more powerful or no more foolish than missing any other of the two steps. There's only three. There's only three steps. Starts with your social media, sees where that goes, has the competition itself, plus 48. You're welcome.